Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker. If you're here, hit the like button. Also, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Also, drop your comments or questions in the comment section down below. If you have any questions about what I'm about to explain, as I explain it, just put the questions in there. I welcome all questions. And also, share this video with at least two other people. All right, so what are we doing today? We're going to deal with a skill that your children might be introduced to in first or second grade. First or second grade, still had to use it, third grade maybe, or maybe not. We're going to do addition using the arrow way, using arrows. All right. See, I got two examples up here. One is already worked out, right? We're adding two-digit numbers, 13 plus 15. The answer is 29, or it's the sum of 13 and 15 is 29. The sum, that's mathematical vocabulary. That's the answer you get when you do addition, right? So how do we do it using the arrow way? We start with the first add-end, right? When we're adding numbers, the numbers are called add-ins, all right? The first one is 13, so you write 13. Then you write an arrow. Notice how I wrote a plus 10 above the arrow. Where'd that 10 come from? That should be your question. Where'd that 10 come from? You look at the second add-in and you break the second add-in then up according to tens and ones. Tens and ones. The number 15. How many groups of 10 are in 15? One group of 10. So that's 10. How many ones are in 15? Five, right? In the ones place, I should say. Because actually, you could say that there are 15 ones in 15, but we're not doing it like that. We're breaking it up according to the tens and the ones. So we got 10, and then we got 5 ones left over. So first we add the 10. We do 13 plus 10. Now 13 plus 10 is going to give us 23. Why? Because 13 already has one group of 10. When you add another group of 10, now you got 20 because you got two groups of 10. One group of 10 plus one group of 10 equals two groups of 10. And the 3 is still there. So that's why you got 23. All right. Now we still got to add the 5 that's left over because 15 is broken down into 10 plus 5, 10 plus 5. Now we got 23. We draw another arrow and we write plus 5. Now we're just adding the ones. We're adding 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. Now, if your children are doing two-digit number addition, by now they should already know their single-digit addition facts by heart, right? They should have them memorized. They should know 3 plus 5 is 8 from memory. They should know 5 plus 3 is 8 from memory. Now, if they still need to count with their fingers, that's fine. There's no shame in that. But as soon as possible, get them to memorize their addition facts. All right. Or if they need to write down, little shapes on paper, three circles and then 5 circles, and then count all the circles and see that that's 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. All right. So 23 plus 5 is going to be 28, right? Because if you separate the 3 from the 20, that gives you 3. And then the 5, you put the 3 and the 5 together, you get 8. Then you connect it, you add the 8 to the 20 that we already had, the two groups of 10. It gives us 28. Now let's go to this example. Now you might want to hit pause if you want to do this by yourself for practice. That's cool. You can do that. You might want to hit pause, work it out on paper with your child, or have your child do it by themselves, and then hit play to see, if you get the same answer that we did, or if you did it the same way. Now, number 26. I'm sorry, number 2, 26 plus 12. Our two add-ins are 26 and 12, 26 and 12. And notice how I got the scholar, the late scholar, historian, sociologist. I refer to him as a mathematician as well, W.E.B. Du Bois. This is a young picture of William Edward Burghardt Du Bois, born in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, back in, I want to say, 1868. Went to Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee for undergrad. Wrote many, many books, did a lot of work and research to try to push our race forward, right? It's probably the most famous book is The Souls of Black Folk. But if you're not that familiar with W.E.B. Du Bois, who I got on my t-shirt, please get familiar. All right, please get familiar. All right, now 26 plus 12. So I start with 26. So I'm gonna write 26 first. That's my first add-in. I write that down. 26, then I write an arrow, and I'm gonna add my 10. I'm gonna go to 12, and I'm gonna break 12 down into 10 plus 2. 10 plus 2. 12 can be broken down into tens and ones. Tens and ones. So I got 10 plus 2. So first I'm adding plus 10. All right, now what's 26 plus 10? 26 is made up of 2 tens and 6 ones. So now I'm adding 10. That's one group of 10. So now I got 2 groups of 10 and another group of 10 all together. That gives me 3 groups of 10. So that's going to give me 30. So I'm going to have 36. All right. So 26 plus 10 is 36. Notice how the ones place number doesn't change, but the tens place number does change, right? Because there's a 1 in the tens place in 10, and there's a 0 in the ones place. That's why the number in the ones place does not change, because there's a 0 in the ones place in 10. So I'm basically adding nothing to the ones place. All right. Then I draw another arrow. What's going to go above here? The 2, because what's 12? 12 is represented as 10 plus 2. We already added the 10. Now we just got to add the 2. So we're going to do plus 2. What's 36 plus 2? 38. How do you know that? You could count on from 36. Imagine that this balled up fist is a 36. And then you put up, 2 fingers, 37, 38. That's 2 fingers. You end up at 38. 36 plus 2 is 38. All right. So, or you could just say, think of it like this: separate 36. Well, separate 30 from 30 from 6 within 36, right? And then combine the 6 with the 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now you got 30 plus the 8, which is also 38. All right. So just something on just another way to do addition with 2-digit numbers is, and parents, the more and more methods your children know in terms of how to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, the better off they will be. That's why these methods are being introduced. Even if it's not the way that, even though the way you did it, the way you learned it 40 years ago, 30 years ago works fine. It does. It works fine. But that way, your children should know that way too. They should know as many ways as possible, because the more methods they know, the more fluent they'll be in math, the more comfortable they'll be with math, and the less likely they'll ever become people or students that end up hating math or fearing math, because really it's a fear. It starts out as fear, then the fear turns into a hate, right? People fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. Guess it's just the fury of man, right? So anyway, right? That's what happens. So you don't want your children to ever become fearful of mathematics, right? You don't want them to become fearful of mathematics. So you want to expose them to as many different methods of doing different types of arithmetic as possible. All right. So like I said, hit the like button, subscribe if you didn't subscribe already. If you still have questions, that's cool. I welcome that. Bring the questions, put them in the comment section. All right. And also do your research on W.E.B. Du Bois and share this video with at least 2 people. At least 2 people, especially if they have children or grandchildren, nieces and nephews that are in 1st or 2nd grade. Make sure our 1st and 2nd graders know how to do this, know how to add 2-digit numbers in different ways. All right. See you on the next video. Peace.